It is so wonderful to see you all gather here together in celebration of the city we love and the community and staff who are putting in the time and the energy to keep West Sacramento moving forward. Thank you to the Chamber. Denise, just please stand. Thank you. We wanted to make sure we give you a shout out. You are such a champion for hosting and making sure that this beautiful event comes together. Your passion, your heart, your commitment is wonderful, and it is such a pleasure to work with you. We are coming into my third year as mayor, and many things have changed for me. I now have 2 daughters who are mothers, and I have not 1, but 2 adorable grandchildren. Having little people in your life will do 2 things. Remind you to find the joy in the smallest of things and deepen your relationship to time as they grow and change right before your eyes. Nothing will make you more aware than to have one foot in the future and one in the past, like little ones at your feet, growing and changing in the blink of an eye, while you chase them with the camera in hand in an effort to hold on to time. As a city, West Sacramento is now in its mid-30s. The face and shape of the city may continue to grow and change, but the value and traditions it was built on remain deep in the soil. And it was those values and those time-honored traditions that spurred the city to make an investment in the preservation of our agricultural roots by directing a portion of the city's economic funds towards the purchase of club pheasant. For 87 years, this beloved landmark has held that corner of Jefferson Boulevard, beginning as a working farm turned soil lab and eventually becoming a favorite gathering spot for deal-making politicos, West Sacramento families, all of us, looking to celebrate milestones and make wonderful memories over Luisa Pomadesi's legendary comfort food. While the landscape all around it changed, the club pheasant stood as a reminder of the humble beginnings and big dreams realized. The building's future has still yet to be decided, but rest assured that any plans will have a focus on the community and economic opportunity. And in that same spirit, come summer, we will be able to pick up fresh, locally sourced loaves of gluten-free bread, biscuits, cupcakes, and more. The city's Community Development Department has been working with West Sacramento neighbor Karen Fitzgerald for a few years now to help her graduate from baking in her kitchen to building a commercial kitchen, to increase the capacity of her small business, to make, prepare, and package her signature baked goods for availability in stores and restaurants. So right now, you can find West Sac Bread Company's baked goods at the Sacramento Natural Foods Cooperative, the Davis Co-op, and locally at Savory and Treehouse Cafe. If you're on the go and in need of a caffeinated sweet treat, but you don't want to get out of your car, head over to 764 IKEA Court and take your place in the fabulously fast-moving line of the new West Sac Dutch Brothers. The wait won't be long, as Dutch Brothers holds true to the franchise's core values of quality, service, and speed. The Chamber's ribbon-cutting events are also on the rise, with the ushering of thick vatos and tacos, R+H aesthetic medicine, Sac Tech Exchange, Reliable Home Solutions, Combat Inc., just to name a few. We are just cutting ribbons almost every week. Thank you, Chamber. The California Hispanic Chamber continues in its efforts to promote the entrepreneurial spirit through the city's Accelerator program, which was designed to target potential micro-enterprise businesses owners to fulfill their goals. Measure N funds will enable our Small Business Accelerator program to get off the ground by funding architectural costs and other resources incurred by people interested in developing a small business along the Sacramento Avenue corridor and in the area, bringing new commerce to the Broderick, Bride, and Washington areas. Now, the River Cats recently announced their new partnership with King's owner, Vivek Ranadive, which promises to bring new life in the form of economic opportunity in our already bustling riverfront. We celebrate this exciting partnership and will always be grateful to the Savage family for taking a chance on West Sacramento and relocating the team here and building a baseball stadium that has brought over 22 years of joy to families from all over the region and laid a foundation for a riverfront that has just grown more beautiful and more prosperous over the years. Art Savage was a pioneer, and under the Savage family's management, the River Cats grew to become one of the most beloved and successful AAA franchises in the league, winning 3 AAA championships and 5 league titles. Now, just down the road on 3rd Street, the California State Teachers Retirement System is finishing construction on a gorgeous and shimmering building with the parking structure underneath. The completed project will include childcare center, partnering with our city for those services. So we're really grateful to increase access to childcare. Now, is labor in the house? I would like to recognize that I am grateful for our union volunteers, we all are, who serve on the county's Workforce Innovation Board. Carl Pino with the Iron Workers, and Tim Campbell with the Longshoremen have dedicated themselves to the development of a local workforce prepared and trained to secure the many job opportunities becoming available within the city. So we are grateful. Thank you so much. As the COVID-19 pandemic began to tamp down and businesses began to open up, many employers expressed concerns about the staffing shortages. So Diana Richards rolled up her sleeves, as she always does, and partnered up with the Chamber, because Denise is also on the Workforce Innovation Board, to fill those vacancies in a business community eager to get things moving again. So thank you so much for doing that. The city is also very grateful to Alex Beltran, who is the Director of Training. Alex, wave your hand. At the beautiful New Finishing Trades Institute, just recently had a ribbon cutting in West Sacramento. To build out a quality workforce, the Institute recruits and trains people desiring to develop skills in the finishing trades, such as painters, drywall finishers, and glaziers. We were very excited to see a working partnership between the Institute and our local heroes, John Archuleta and Vanessa Castro, who have developed the graffiti removal program. Apprentices in the finishing trades are given an opportunity to practice and hone their skills by working with John and Vanessa to assist neighbors repainting fences and other structures that have been vandalized by taggers. Thank you to John, Vanessa, and the Finishing Trades Institute volunteers for this labor of love. As all of California struggles with the daunting task of building enough homes to keep up with demand, West Sacramento has been recognized as one of 22 California cities designated as a pro-housing jurisdiction by the Department of Housing and Community Development. As a result of this designation, the city receives priority positioning for future grant funding administered by the Housing and Community Development, which will include access to its new pro-housing choice, the pro-housing incentive pilot program. The city will once again partner with Yolo County to purchase another West Capitol motel in order to duplicate Project Home Key program as a bridge for our neighbors currently in the Project Room Key program. So I'd like to thank our city manager, Aaron Laurel, Raul Huerta, Mark Sawyer, and the team for making that transition possible. Thank you. This partnership was made possible thanks to the leadership of Yolo County, who were able to secure funding from the Federal American Rescue Plan. So we also like to thank the supervisors, Villegas and Provenza, who are here in the room, for giving us the funding that we needed to preserve this. Thank you. Now, thanks to Councilmember Orozco, Mayor Pro Tem Orozco, sorry, we continue to prosper from the Downtown Streets team as another vital community partner, offering a hand up, providing job opportunities, providing hope to all of those in need, and they have fulfilled a remarkable contribution in our community. Thank you to Supervisor Villegas, Sandy, and Provenza for contributing the American Rescue Plan funding and making programs such as the Downtown Streets team to be here a lot longer with other vital community-based organizations such as Yolo County Children's Alliance, St. Vincent de Paul, and Mercy Coalition, who's out there in the back. These community-based organizations have been able to expand and grow thanks to their partnerships. Their models continue to be serving and supporting the most vulnerable among us. Thank you for all you do. And very appreciative of the growth with the Recovery Cafe, which has expanded hours and the number of days, serving those who have trauma and like to recover. And speaking of volunteers who always go the extra mile on behalf of the community, we give thanks to our hardworking city council members who rolled up their sleeves to join neighbors to partner with Habitat for Humanity for a successful Rock the Block event that won a leadership award at the Habitat of Humanity Greater Sacramento's 29th Annual Hammy Awards. So I thank Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem Orozco for contributing this idea and working with our partners, and to Councilmember Norma Alcala to make sure that the Rock the Block Work Party in Brighton Broderick, which was a huge success, more than 400 volunteers, teams from local businesses and nonprofits and city staff, replaced falling fences, tidied up yards, gave homes a fresh coat of paint for quite a few neighbors. The event was sponsored by the city, and it is a part of a 5-year commitment with Habitat for Humanity of Greater Sacramento. And we are looking forward to another event this fall. I want to give a special shout out to John Archuleta and Holy Cross Church, who established the base camp for volunteers with plans to do it again come fall. Thank you. Now on June 8th, we will see a groundbreaking event for the West Gateway Place Phase 2 with our partner Jamboree Housing. The project will add 60 affordable multifamily units come late 2024. We are also grateful for urban development for the Washington Commons co-housing project, and the long-anticipated opening will see 35 elated homeowners moving in. We'll also be looking forward to the Kind project, featuring 150 below market rate rental units, strategically located near public transportation along the riverfront. This was a huge collaborative effort with the city. And with that model, we are expanding the reduction of impact fees and resources to duplicate models like this throughout the entire city and attract future housing projects so that it can be affordable. Other projects in motion now are 720-acre Yarborough Master Plan in Southport, which is now moving forward through the Community Development Department. And the project will be a master plan that includes a mix of attached and detached, low, medium, and high-density residential units providing housing options for the growing local workforce. And one of my favorites, it'll feature an 18-hole golf course, a series of lakes, water features, open space trails, parks, and another town center to bring in new shopping opportunities. The project also includes what's been highly in demand, an active adult community. So I'd like to thank David Stroud for listening and tuning in, for making that happen. Thank you. Another fabulous project is Liberty. Terry Teeple is here. He's been working for a long time with the Pack family to build a beautiful community as well. So they're setting their final touches in their plan. We won't release any details today, so be prepared for public input to see what that's going to look like. We're all excited. With growth comes increased demand from first responders. Since 2008, the number of fire calls has increased 127%. And I'm a strong supporter of safety first policies that call for staffing levels in sync with population levels. To that effort, I want to begin by applauding the West Sacramento Firefighters Association initiative to submit a federal SAFER grant, where if approved, it's still in the process, and I'd like to thank my fellow council members when we went to cap and advocated for approval. It will fund 9 firefighters for Engine 45, restoring services cut during the 2012 recession. The federal SAFER grants are created to provide funding to fire departments to help increase or maintain the number of firefighters available in their communities. So we also want to thank our firefighters and Sacramento 522 and our fire administration for your persistence in seeking solutions to meet and maintain adequate staffing levels to respond in a crisis situation. We greatly appreciate your service in the community. Also, with expanded growth comes an increased need for police officers and neighborhood patrol units. Now, the West Sacramento Police Department is also looking for innovative ways to handle the increased demand for services. One example is the partnership with the Yolo County District Attorney to address an uptick in the sideshows, which wreak havoc on our city streets and pose substantial dangers to our community. West Sac PD has also enhanced technology to properly equip officers and detectives in their investigations. These increased measures have been met with much success by capturing lawbreakers in real time using tools like the automated license plate reader. Recently, this tool enabled officers to take into custody a person wanted for murder from another jurisdiction. This vehicle rolled in, parked, it identified that this was a vehicle they were searching, and they arrested the individual immediately. Great job. My focus in public office has always been on increased community engagement and community safety, which to my mind go hand in hand. And for those reasons, I applaud the work of the West Sacramento PD, the Crisis Intervention Team, for their innovative work to increase public engagement and foster much needed dialogue to make public safety a shared goal with a shared mission and a vision, especially important now with our first responders often spread so thin. Our community outreach department that has been instituted has done remarkable work expanding community engagement. The Crisis Intervention Team is an integral part of this work, and they are working with West Sac PD to increase outreach to members in the community living out of doors and unhoused. We also thank our Yolo County partners once again who subsidized expansions to the program that provide critical street-based and clinical setting mental health services to those in need. In addition, Police Chief Strange convened 2 community advisory board meetings over the past year as part of our effort to foster better and deeper connections in our community. So there are 2 boards, not 2 meetings, 2 boards, lots of meetings. The Chief's Cab has direct access to him, provides a forum for the community to bring questions, concerns, and to acknowledge accomplishments. The cab also helps to advise our chief on policy and gives an inside look at the realities of police work. In addition, the Data Transparency Advisory Board is helping West Sac PD to co-create a useful platform to gather data on police department innovation strategies to increase the equity and quality of its service. This group is helping to aggregate the data that will soon be accessible to the entire community. So thank you for doing that, Chief Strange. West Sac PD is also keeping it fun with their cards and collectibles show. The event drew huge crowds of collectors and enthusiasts from around the region here in this room. I am now the proud owner of a signed card by Sergeant Eric Engel, the creator of the event. And K9 Noda is now our mascot. Sergeant Engel is known for his unique ability to connect with peers in the officer wellness program. Very important in this time. Like many of us, our first responders are facing tough challenges, trying to balance work and home life, and the challenge of being a police officer today. In his role also as a California Law Enforcement Assistance Program board member, Sergeant Engel is leading the way to bring more peer support services to those who are struggling. So wanted to ask you to thank Sergeant Engel for all that he's doing. As the nation's staffing shortages have adversely affected local jurisdictions, and West Sacramento is no exception, first and foremost, I want to thank our West Sacramento police officers and commend them for their commitment to excellence despite the staffing shortages. I have seen the challenges it has been bringing to you and your ability to cover the city from end to end. We know our officers often move on to other jurisdictions in search of better pay. So it is imperative that we do all we can to retain a skilled workforce and achieve that, including investing in resources and recruitment strategies to hire officers who will want to stay and grow with the city. On this, Council began in a unified way and committed to exploring ways to provide housing opportunities to attract and retain dedicated and committed teachers and police officers with ties to the community. So I'm really grateful for Councilmember Early in bringing that initiative forward. Now in March, we had our first ever Women's Girls event. Once again, our West Sac PD was there to encourage young women to consider a career in law enforcement. And our newly promoted Lieutenant Andrea King here has done exceptional work. I saw her do the presentation and the teaching, and she captured my attention. I was ready to sign up. In developing recruitment strategies to bring the talented new hires, and she's been successful in bringing new hires here to West Sacramento PD. Thank you for doing that. I also want to express my deep appreciation to Deputy Chief Carl Crouch for the 25 years of service. And welcome Charles Meeks as our next Deputy Chief, who has also served as Lieutenant when he came to West Sac PD and after his retirement with the Sacramento Sheriff's Department, where he put in 23 years. Congratulations. And also, congratulations to our Deputy Chief Carl Crouch on his well-earned retirement. And now this last winter, we experienced the worst set of storms ever. Atmospheric bombs put tremendous pressure on our public works, parks, police, and fire crews to manage the largest demand for emergency services in the city's history. The city's emergency response system was put to the test, and our first responders and city staff have much to be proud of as they work through dangerous conditions. And can all those involved with our emergency response in this event please stand, because we want to thank you. Public Works supplied sandbag stations, responded to downed trees, and backed up storm drains to keep the roads clear and people safe. Our RD900 new general manager, Blake Johnson, in his first year, led his crew to ensure the levees were sound and the storm drains systems were working to keep up with the high volume of water coming into the city. To meet the needs of residents without power, Parks and Rec supplied the city with charging centers, and the YOLA Healthy Aging Alliance stepped in to bring assistance to our older adult population, providing food, flashlights, and battery packs to charge their mobility devices. Now, council members were also out in full force in their neighborhoods, partnering with other volunteers to pitch in wherever needed. Councilwoman Sulpicio Hull initiated a door-to-door contact with neighborhoods hardest hit by the power outages. Thank you, council member, for that. And thank you to the council for all you do during the crisis situation. Through it all, our levees held strong, and we'd like to thank Congresswoman Matsui for her steadfast support in securing federal funding to continue the ongoing efforts to strengthen our levee system. Last September, a signing ceremony for the West Sacramento project was held at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers office to seal the project partnership agreement that officially initiates construction of more than $1.1 billion in levee improvements for the city levee system. This helps us to continue to build. This is a truly significant milestone for the levee program, as the Corps is now able to tap into federal funding appropriated annually for levee improvements to be implemented by the Corps over the next several years. We're going to start with the construction on the Yolo Bypass East Levee project, and Paul Dirksen is here to provide a brief presentation on the success of our flood protection system and its impact on the infrastructure. Paul, come on up. There you are.
Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to present this evening the West Sacramento Levee Improvement Program, to talk about what we've accomplished and to talk about what we're working on to protect the city of West Sacramento residents and businesses from flooding. Flood protection has been one of the city's highest strategic priorities since 2006. During high water events like we experienced in January and March, the city is almost completely surrounded by water. West Sacramento sits at the confluence of the American and the Sacramento rivers, with the American River pointed directly at the city's west bank, just north of the Broderick boat ramp. Northern watersheds fill the Sutter and the Yolo bypasses. Between December 27th and January 5th of this year, the river rose 20 feet, 1.5 feet below monitoring stage and 4 feet below the flood stage. Reclamation District 900 was actively monitoring all of the levees, both in various days in January as well as March. The West Sacramento Levee Improvement Program kicked off in 2006, and in 2007, the residents and the voters approved the first flood assessment. That flood assessment provided the necessary seed money to participate in the state's early implementation program. 4 different projects were completed through the early implementation program between 2008 and 2017. I Street, the CHP Academy, the rivers, and our largest project to date, the Southport Levee Improvement Project. That project had 3 different stages. One was to relocate South River Road to Village Parkway. Also then to build 6 miles of levee improvements in one of our most vulnerable reaches in the city. And lastly, to create 120 acres of floodplain restoration. This project was designed to provide contemporary as well as advanced mitigation to the program. That program cost about $185 million. And collectively, all of these programs cost about $230 million, which will be considered work in kind for federal funding. None of these projects would be possible without the local flood assessment, without the state and federal government partners. In 2019, West Safety received its first allocation in the federal budget for $400,000. We led the design for the next most critical repair location, the Yolo Bypass East Levee. We received supplemental funding in the following two federal budgets, and in 2020, we finally received the New Start designation, along with $25.8 million in construction funds. That New Start designation is fundamentally important. It means the Army Corps of Engineers has agreed to fund the West Sacramento project to completion. So where we are today is that the Army Corps of Engineers is now leading the charge. They've awarded a single contract for the Yolo Bypass Levee South at a cost of $4 million. The engineer's estimate was twice that amount. We'll also be going out to bid this fall and probably go into construction next year for Yellow North. And concurrently, over on the west bank of the Sacramento River West North Levee, this levee segment is approximately 6 miles long and extends from the Sacramento Weir to the Barge Canal. It's a complicated levee segment and traverses 2 corporation yards, the rivers, the future location of the Indian Heritage Center, the new I Street Bridge, and continues all the way to the Stone Lock facility. We jumpstart this project by launching surveying for the project and geotechnical evaluations, both critical aspects for levee design. Last slide. In closing, I want to thank the mayor, the council for their leadership and support. I want to thank Congresswoman Matsui and her staff for their continued support. She's been a true champion for the West Sacramento Flood Program. And I want to thank the West Safety Board and our team that make the West Sacramento Levee Improvement Program effective in reducing the risk of flooding to West Sacramento. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. And thank you for everything you are doing, and it takes a village to get this project done. A lot of work. City Council will continue to prioritize the concerns of residents to address safety issues due to the unprecedented potholes and sewage line issues and strategize ways to bring more improvements. Just yesterday, we looked at a budget that is going to implement more than $12 million to continue to fix our potholes and bring more improvements to the Sacramento Avenue corridor by advocating for increased funding towards these projects. Once again, we thank Congresswoman Matsui and Senator Padilla for their submission to secure funding from the Safer Streets Initiative. Thank you. This will build on the Safer Streets Sacramento Council of Government grant secured by the city staff to increase connectivity between Sacramento Avenue and C Street corridors to Harbor Boulevard and 3rd Street. Since 2020, the city has successfully secured more than $30 million in grant funding for transportation and related infrastructure improvements and programs throughout the city. The community development team would like to give them a huge applause. Andrea and everybody there, thank you so much for your work and diligence to apply for those grants. There you are. I want to say that you've done incredible work this last, and you started, you're fairly new here, so you've done incredible work. It brings beautiful amenities so that we can travel around. The Riverfront Street extension and the 5th Street widening project is well underway and ramping up towards completion, just in time to meet and greet the warmer temperatures and open the space up for walking, biking to cafes and entertainment venues. We will see more sidewalk, bike lanes, and streetlights come fall 2023. We're looking forward to that. Also, the Sacramento Area Council of Governments gave additional allocation of funding today and gave the city its largest grant for several projects, which includes Sacramento Avenue corridor infill and infrastructure capacity, the Washington District Underground Utility, infrastructure infill and upgrade project, and the Regional Active Transportation Program, and the North 5th Street Complete Street and Connectivity Project, and the Regional Active Transportation Program for the West Capitol Regional Connection for bicyclist and pedestrian safety improvements. Further south, there are plans for Southport Levee Trailhead that meets the Linden cul-de-sac. Congresswoman Matsui's leadership has secured $1.8 million in federal funding to spur this project. This will be phase 1 of the new Southport Levee Recreation Trail Project, which will cover 5.6 miles of Class 1 pathways on the top of the Southport setback levee, providing endless recreational and educational opportunities and promote tourism to infuse the beauty of the Delta with much needed revenue to protect its unique riparian habitats, wildlife, and increase awareness of its role in flood protection. And speaking of parks, outreach to our community has helped us prepare for West Acre Park's expansion. And we are grateful for the partnership with Washington Unified School District and our school board members. And also, once again, Congresswoman Matsui's office has secured $750,000 for Bright Park's all-weather field. Thank you. Congresswoman Matsui and the entire team has done numerous tours in the last year and a half, and they are seeking to identify what they can do to help West Sacramento grow stronger and more beautiful. And this project is something that is near and dear to a lot of our hearts, so thank you. In addition, the city secured $16 million for the I Street Bridge and $4.9 million. Again, another example thanks to Congresswoman Matsui, including the debt conversion project, which was one of the 67 projects recommended across the state out of 433 applications. We received an additional award to make the $22.6 million project fully funded. So really, really grateful for that. Again, the community development staff for this huge success. The Safer Bike and Pedestrian Pathways project is also underway, and we are beginning phase 3, the Sycamore Trail, which is now in fruition. The trail will increase community access to schools, retail shopping, eateries, and so much more by connecting the northern and southern ends of the city. The Sidewalk and Transportation Equity Program survey continues to gather feedback from the community, and we want to hear from everyone about their concerns for safer walking and bicycling paths. Soon, we will see a reimagined West Capitol Avenue to include a grand gateway. With Tracy Michaels as our new Economic Development Director, plans are in motion, and she will be offering us with more exciting announcements on the project soon. Thank you, Tracy. We know you will make us proud. Where's Tracy? I want her to wave her hand. Is she here? She went? Okay. Plans continue towards tackling our climate action goals, which includes the implementation of the electrical vehicle plug-in partnership charging stations throughout the city. Nearing completion, this plan dovetails with our award-winning Mobility Action Plan, where we coordinate additional public transportation and options such as bikes, scooters, and VIA to keep you on the move. The Port and Capitol projects now have DC fast chargers, and we are so thrilled to see the administration be able to capture funding so that we can see emission-free vehicles at the port. So thank you, SSA Marine, for working together with the port staff. It will be replacing diesel forklifts with electrical ones to move large storehouses of rice and other products. The port was able to secure vouchers through the California Air Resources Board's Clean Off-Road Equipment Voucher Incentive Program and an additional grant through the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District to help fund this project. So I remember the tour that we took, and you showed me those. It's very nice. To address our broadband strategic plan, the city has engaged with Valley Vision, who are carrying out assessments of our current broadband access to identify gaps and barriers and offer recommendations for addressing them. The goal is to ensure all residents, the business community, and institutions, such as the schools, have the best access to fast and affordable internet. The two top priorities are to increase residents' access to the Fed's Affordable Connectivity Program that offers $30 a month subsidy to qualifying residents. Currently, only 45% of all eligible residents are enrolled, leaving more than 3,000 households to get connected to the program. So the second priority is to assist internet service providers with submitting infrastructure funding applications to the California Public Utilities Commission to reach the remaining unconnected households and increase service and capacity to both existing and future new providers. We continue to invest in our youth population by investing in programs that address resilience and emotional well-being. The special team of role models, STORM program, has come to our Kids Zone after-school program. STORM promotes the development of social skills through education on character values, common good, and leadership using fun physical and mental exercises. Kids learn to support one another in developing working definitions of what it means to show kindness, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and personal responsibility. Our Kids Zone and Club West programs have also started a new after-school enrichment program called the Department of Sound, which focuses on supporting the social, emotional health, and long-term well-being of youth through the medium of sound, which includes music and podcasting. We heard the community's concerns regarding youth engagement opportunities for after school around the high school. So the Recreation Center has responded by recently launching the Open Rec Room. The Open Rec Room gives kids ages 8 through 17 an opportunity to enjoy a variety of fun and supervised activities hosted by our wonderful recreation staff. Activities include foosball, ping pong, air hockey, quick start tennis, Nintendo Switch tournaments, board games, playing games such as Magic the Gathering, chess, rock climbing, and crafting opportunities. Can we see, with a show of hands, the Parks and Rec team, if they're here, if they're present, so that we can thank you for all the work. Nope, they're not here today. Well, I just want to say thank you for all your work. I know that they've done a lot of work. Now, the Home Run team just celebrated 20 years of bringing high-quality early learning opportunities to the city's little people, giving those critical early experiences that research shows leads to the most desired outcomes later in life. The Home Run team expanded their partnership with the Yolo County Children's Alliance and also the Washington Unified School Board and the trustees, its teachers, and the Los Rios Community College's West Sac satellite to boost participation. A record 90 home run internship placements have occurred for our high school students and recent graduates with the help of the West Sacramento Chamber. Enrollment for the Ready, Set, Save scholarships are on the rise and offering incentives, which was launched in 2022 of April. Home Run staff have helped sign up a whopping 738 youth savings accounts and over 400 Ready, Set, Save accounts. So I want to thank the Home Run team. Where's Justine? Wave your hand. For all you do. There you are. Thank you. And everybody there on the table. Our active aging population is also moving, participating in enriching activities offered by the Healthy Living Program, which includes increased access to our mobile food truck to address issues with food insecurity. The refrigerated mobile food truck circulates in various areas of the community to bring fresh fruits and vegetables to residents and tips for easy-to-manage healthy meal prep. Thank you to the Center for Land-Based Learning for this initiative. I also want to thank and congratulate the YOLO Food Bank Director, Karen Baker, who's here in the room. Thank you, Karen, on her new position. And thank her and Jen Hudson. Jen, where are you? Jen works tirelessly to address food insecurity throughout the city. It's a lot of work. The YOLO Food Bank has been seeing an increased need, and they are working hard to meet that demand. So thank you, YOLO Food Bank, and all the volunteers for all you are doing to support those in need. A long delay stemming from the pandemic, staff is once again working to update the city's 2017 Age-Friendly Action Plan. And the process will begin with a number of opportunities for the community to give input and will include phone and online surveys. The surveys will go out soon. And I'd like to thank Mr. Robinson. We greatly appreciate all you do to make sure this is happening. Thank you, John. Just around the corner is the startup of a new community academy to increase civic engagement and partnership in local governance. A humble and inspiring man who found his way from the depths of despair to now a Mercy Housing resident. Mr. Warris Banks will bring his light and energy and a wealth of wisdom to his project. Mr. Banks, please raise your hand. Thank you. Stand. Mr. Banks is a role model for civic engagement. He has participated in many city events promoting community. He is also a proud employee of the Sacramento Kings and River Cats organization. Thank you, Warris, for all the heart and wisdom you bring to West Sacramento. Along with increased engagement to the city aims to celebrate the diversity, and to that end, we will establish Cultural Events Fund to promote understanding, tolerance through celebratory events and education. Councilmember Early brought the first ever Color of Music Festival to City Hall, which, with much success, we were all moved by the exquisite sounds created by the acclaimed Black Chamber Ensemble players and artists who, from the Color of Music Orchestra Festival, which showcases some of the top Black classical musicians in the nation. Councilmember Alcala hosted a colorful, traditional-filled Dia de los Muertos festival that captured the beauty of how Mexico takes the pain of loss and elevates it to a community approach of honoring and remembering the loved ones who are lost. Both events gave us a new and familiar ways to come together and celebrate the diversity of the city, and there's much more to come, so we look forward to providing a fund to invest in those type of events throughout the city. Now that we are established in single-member districts, we are moving towards formalizing a one-city approach to local governance. Each district, distinct in needs and strengths, will have direct representation. This will allow the city to develop truly shared goals, equitable in how they will be informed by the unique needs and strengths each elected representative will bring to the table. The city has celebrated many firsts, and this is one more good thing we have done for ourselves and future generations that will one day take up the mantle and lead the way, adding new levels of community engagement, volunteerism, advocacy, and around a concept of what is good for the group. If it is to work, we will need to start with an opportunity for all voices to be heard and all hands on deck. Cheers to a dream realized. Now, on that note, I want to welcome two new legislative representatives here in our city, Assemblywoman Cecilia Aguiar Curry and Senator Bill Dodd. Due to redistricting every 10 years, each has become our designated representative this coming year, and we look forward to what their leadership in the legislature will bring to the city. We also want to thank Assemblymember Kevin McCarty and Senator Richard Pan for their leadership in securing $1.5 million for Bright Park and $340,000 for Westmore Oaks in last year's budget. Their contributions have boosted outdoor amenities in our community. The City of West Sacramento will upgrade its technology to enhance online billing and utility payments, which is in demand. And also thank you, Councilmember Verna Sapizio-Ho, who's had demand from her constituents. We're also taking on the initiative to comply with federal requirement to develop a workforce training apprenticeship agreement, and more to come in that on the near future. Now, next year, the State of the City is going to be free and inclusive event, a little different than this format. I want to thank again the Chamber for the many years, as you've heard by Denise, they have given to creating such a rich tradition of celebrating the city, its residents, and its leadership. It's not the end, and their efforts will not have been in vain. Instead, the tradition will expand and open up to something richer and citywide. Thank you, Chamber. for creating the space, blazing the trail, and creating a solid model to build on. We can't say yet how things will look next year, but whatever, things will land. We will be able to come together, and we will all be in celebration together. So next year, we will have a lot more to come and celebrate future successes. So cheers to all of us and all of your hard work to making this city, West Sacramento, a beautiful place to live, work, and play. Thank you.